Welcome to Bridge the Atlantic. We are your hosts, music web designer Ross Barber.
And singer-songwriter Marcio Novelli.
This week we're joined by LA-based singer, record producer, songwriter and engineer Josh Stevens. As a producer and songwriter, Josh has worked with some of the biggest names in the business, including LMFAO, Jennifer Lopez and Snoop Dogg. His works are Grammy Award winning, RIAA Platinum certified and Billboard Award nominated.
Now Josh is taking center stage with the release of his own EP, Story of Summer, due for release in the fall of 2015. The EP features performances from Capital City's Spencer Ludwig and the Foo Fighters' Drew Hester. We're looking forward to hearing about Josh's writing process, his new EP, and the advice he'd offer to fellow aspiring music industry pros. How's it going, Josh?
It's going great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks for coming on.
You got the concept of what you guys do is awesome. I love the multi locations. So
yeah,
it's
we're a little
cool.
crazy.
Cool.
We've actually never met in person before, so we'll be meeting in person for the first time in March of next year, and we will officially have bridged the Atlantic. I guess that'll be the end of the show, right? No,
that's like the grand finale.
The grand finale. We shake hands.
All the music, the epic ending.
Well, we just shake hands. That's all we do, though. We shake hands and we walk our separate ways.
you shake hands and then slowly walk with your backs away from the camera.
I like that.
And that's when we have some like really sad music playing. I'm trying to think of it'll be something epic. It'll probably be Michael Bolton, and that will make sense to you later on in the interview.
A nice flute solo at the end.
I love it. So, Josh, tell us 3 things about yourself that everyone should know.
Oh, wow. 3. I grew up in Los Angeles. I grew up here my whole life. Been in music pretty much my entire life. Before I did music, my family owned a golf shop. So I used to sell golf equipment to really, really rich people, which is quite interesting. And since then, I've been blessed to work with some amazing people and keep doing music, which in today's climate is fairly unique, you know. And so that's probably the best. And I try my hardest not to look like an idiot as much as possible, you know.
we all have our days. We mentioned before the interview that both Josh and I had just a few hours of sleep last night. So
yes.
But as you mentioned, if you want to be in the music industry, you've got to get used to little sleep.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, but it feels you feel like garbage though when you don't get enough sleep. I need my sleep so badly to be my best self. But what can you do, right? So tell us a little bit more about how you got started in the music business. You grew up in LA, which a lot of people move to LA to make music. You grew up in LA and still wanted to be in the industry, which is kind of
Which is kind of weird. Yeah, it's not very common. People, you know, most people decide like, I hate LA. I've lived here my whole life, and they move to like Colorado or something.
Yeah.
You know, random middle of America. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think for me, you know, me and my brothers had a hip hop group together, and so we just, you know, that was what we were going to do. I was going to be, you know, the next Eminem in my head. You know, I didn't know I was going to be doing pop music professionally, but I mean, I bridged that gap somehow.
There we go.
So we just grew up doing that. And, you know, my brothers, their main fathers and stuff were in entertainment. Like they were comedian managers. They like managed certain comedians and did certain stuff like that. And we always had friends that were really in the music business. But it's weird because even though you're around it constantly, you may not be completely in it, you know? So you're just around it. And we just had this natural urge to want to do music. So I just grew up doing that, and then eventually learned or wanted to learn how to do more production stuff because I was around the studios, around the stuff, and I was like, what are they doing? I'm one of those people, like, if I'm in a room of people, I don't want to be the dumbest person, you know, or so I always had that, like, yo, what are you guys doing? What makes you guys great? And so I just went to school for that, and then it kept me in the business. And with that, met people and just kind of kept going. I really like to just always be open-minded. I think a lot of musicians and a lot of people get closed-minded in what they're doing. I mean, I would have never thought coming from a hip-hop background that I'd be singing pop records with indie rock artists and stuff like that and being truly immersed in it and loving it. Or, you know, my era, I was doing EDM with LMFAO and all that kind of crazy stuff. I never thought that I would be in the club, you know, making club records.
Right. But that's because you're open-minded, though.
Yeah. I just really like all kinds of music. As a writer, anything that's like truly passionate and people are like really about what they're doing music for, I just appreciate it. Like LMFAO, like people may think it was kind of a gimmick or whatever people would assume it to be, but those dudes really partied. They really lived that life. So it was funny because as it blew up, it was kind of like, oh shoot, kids like this. The world likes this, but we're really living this way, you know.
It's funny. When I lived in the US for 3 months in 2009, and I think it was just when I'm in Miami Bitch came out. And that was our theme, like for that whole vacation, because we used to go to this club. We lived in Ocean City in Maryland, and there was this club called Party Block, and it destroyed clubs for me forever because no club will ever live up to how awesome that place was. I've basically not been to a club since. But anyway, that song used to come on, and my friend and I, we found out what it was and we downloaded it on our phone, and we had these trailer parties because we lived in a trailer park. This just seems like it's going downhill and downhill. I know.
It's all good.
But yeah, that was like our theme. And I remember a few months later, LMFAO were huge everywhere. Like we'd never heard of them before. And then we came back and they were just huge everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely kind of came overnight, to be honest. Because like, when I joined, Miami Bitch had just came out, and Fu, I met Fu, and it's really weird how we met. I was doing a session for my friend Warren G, who just came out with an album that we did with like Nate Dogg, which is where that goes back to my hip hop background. Mm-hmm. So I was doing music for him and his project that he was doing, and management for LMFAO and Warren G were really good friends. So they came into the studio one day, saw what I was doing, and we're like, hey, LMFAO, this group LMFAO likes what you were doing, wants to meet, da-da-da-da. And I didn't know who they were. I had no idea. So, and, Miami that song Miami just came out. And, I take the meeting, I go over with Fu. Fu is just in his Speedo, and we're having this interview, in his studio, classic. I'm at first, I'm like, who is this guy? Big red fro, glasses, nothing but a Speedo, talking about drums and percussion and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, yes, but it's a little weird that you're just wearing a Speedo. So, but it ended up working out amazing because the next day he was like, yo, do you have a passport? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you want to go on the road tomorrow? We're going to Asia and Canada. And I was like, yeah. Then why not? And then that turned out to be one of the coolest experiences of my life. Then Party Rock Anthem came out and 69 Noah came out, and we, to be a part of that run was something that, I don't know if that level of success will ever be in my life again. Because, when you're going through it, you don't realize what you're a part of, because it went from being like 4 or 5 of us on the road to like 100. Yeah. Wow. And it was like overnight, and it was kind of like, shocking. And I don't think there's anything that I can do that would ever be bigger than that. Like we were in Cannes, France one time, and me, Fu, and Sky are walking the streets, and this is when Party Rock Anthem was like number 1, and this bus of college kids rolls up right next to us. We literally had to run from them. They chased us down the streets of Cannes, so much so we had to duck into a shopping mall and hide in the dressing rooms and call and figure out what we were going to do. It was 50 college kids just chasing us down the streets. And I don't think there's anything that can match that. There's just something that song and what they did, and to be a part of that resonated with that era of people. The stars just aligned correctly. That who knows? There was one time in Manila, in the Philippines, that it happened again, and I had jewelry on, the Party Rock jewelry and all this stuff, and they just stole it from me, literally took it.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe, I guess, it's people just want to be a part of something, that they see, and they want it. And, we're in the entertainment business, so you can't really blame people for wanting to be a part of what you're establishing. I think there's a responsibility as a musician and as a writer that you understand that comes with whatever you're putting out there. So be responsible with what you put out there, and that's what I live by now, to be honest.
I love that.
And that brings us quite nicely on to your own EP, which is due for release soon. That's Story of Summer. I'd like to know if it was different writing for yourself versus writing for others. And do you feel that maybe you can show a different side of yourself as a songwriter since it's your own material?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Story of Summer was based on like a real summer of my life. You know, I came out of this really rough relationship that was, you know, led to some dark parts, and, you know, the other side of, you know, the lights and stage and all that stuff can be fairly lonely. You know, as a musician, you're kind of like, you know, I do the stage thing, we go and we perform, but then there's like a side of it where you're like, I think it's a natural human thing where there's so much stimulation in all that there is an equal and opposite side of the stimulation, which is very much like, oh, I feel kind of lonely and I'm not quite, I'll never live up to what people think I am. You know what I mean? And you just have to accept that, in my opinion. And it's very difficult. So the EP is about that time period in my life. And I think when you write for yourself or for myself rather than other artists, I can take risks that I can't explain to an artist to take sometimes. Like, this is how I want it to say, and this is how I want it to be. This is what I wanted to say, and this is how I want it to be said, which is risky for when you're writing for people that need to be supported by a corporation and the label, and they have a fan base that already expects a certain sound and, you know, direction from them. We're like, God, I really think this is a cool thing. So I think that's what writing for yourself allows, and I'm willing to take the fall for it. If it doesn't become a massive success, I'm willing to be like, well, I tried. I like to always use myself as the guinea pig, to be honest. Like, let me, like, even because I have a company now that represents, and we do branding and media for artists, kind of like what an A&R department would do, but without the amount of money that A&R departments have. You know? But I always like to tell them, like, I will go out and I'll take the risk on this. I'll be the one that tests it out, and if it's successful, follow up behind it. And that's what I'm doing with this EP too. I'm being extremely honest with my life and what it's like to be a musician. And hopefully that resonates with the audience. And, you know, Hilltop with Spencer it seems to be doing really well. People really like it and vibe with it. And I hope they vibe with the rest of the EP. Yeah.
I really liked it. And the video was really cool as well, the lyric video. Yeah.
Thank you.
You said,
really interesting.
You said honesty, which is something that resonates very, very strongly with me, especially when you're a solo artist and you're writing your own songs. I feel like, you know, why do anything else than tell your story and be honest? And if you don't have a story to tell, then why would you be doing it in the first place, you know? I love that. That resonates with me for sure.
Yeah, I think I kind of adopted early on, you know, me and my team of people, that if we're going to do something for me and we're going to do something for my collective group of friends and artists, I truly believe that, like, true artistry is to do something for a purpose, whatever it is: painting, graphic arts, you know, poetry, music, singing, just entertainment in general. Do it for a purpose. And if you have a purpose, you'll have that conviction. And I think that resonates and that transcends anything that has to do with what on the surface of the music you're really doing, that hits people subconsciously, you know, and that's what I try and do through music. Just do it with a purpose.
So what's your purpose? My
purpose is to bring honesty and integrity back to music, a sense of risk, to be honest. Like,
I bow down.
You know, people may not like it, but
no, I bow down. This is what we need, man.
Yeah. I feel like it's something that we used to have a while ago, but we don't have so much of that anymore. And I think it's important that it comes back. Yeah. So yeah,
it used to be like a standard that you were honest to music. It used to be what you did, other than, like, you know. But definitely, as we've veered away from that a lot, you know. And people, I think, and I think that, you know, you writing for the people, like you said, it is a little bit of a different process because you're writing for someone else. It's not for you; it's for someone else. So I understand that side of things, but you got to be honest. You got to be honest, because at the end of the day, your name's on it.
Exactly, and I think a lot of the stuff, even if it was super commercial and super, you know, accepted by the media, I've always tried to bring that to even other artists. And, you know, what's funny is, like, even a lot of commercial artists that I've worked with, they are real, like. But there's a sense of, like, for me, I wanted to bring a sense of I'll say some stuff that most people won't maybe say, and that's really it. And touch on some things that most artists won't want to touch on.
Like what?
And, like the song Anna on the EP. It's basically about, when you come out of a long relationship, there's usually two things that people can do, in my opinion. Is one, you can close up and become, isolated and just kind of get it through that way. Or you can go the opposite direction and basically just wild out and kind of, have brief relations and kind of have those crazy nights, and so that song is about that. And then basically finding out that, oh, that's not as much as it's cracked up to be either, because everyone has this opinion, like, I'm single, I'm living the life,
right.
Women, cars, blah, 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 whatever it is. And there's a point that will hit a person because either way is unbalanced, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I think the unbalanced of it is what Anna is about. And it kind of sheds lights on something that I think most pop acts wouldn't dare go about.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think with what I've done, and I've done pop records and stuff, I can be like, hey, let's try it and see what happens. What's the worst that people could do? Worst that people say is like, I don't really like it, or I love it. That's it.
Oh well.
And
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, for any musicians listening or watching right now who actually want to pursue a career songwriting for other people rather than being performing a songwriter themselves, what would be the number one tip you have for them?
Oh, the number one tip. I think don't give up in what you believe. If you're a talented writer and you have a passion for it, there's going to be a point that people are going to tell you that you are not good enough, that you aren't in the right place at the right time. In my opinion, the success actually comes when you can withstand and sustain. Because everyone comes to a point when they're like, I just can't sustain anymore. I can't do this, and I'm competing with all these people. And, when you can break through that, that's when you actually you'll hit those pivoting points where you're like, oh, this is what I learned. And oh, this is what happens. And I think the second thing is to be extremely open-minded to all genres of music.
Yes.
Like even if it's a dude using extreme amounts of auto-tune to make songs about racks of money, I don't knock that, because I don't look at individuals and individual artists as competition. I don't look at other genres. I look at each song as its own establishment. So I'm not really competing with other artists. I'm competing with myself and a listening public,
Yes.
And so I think that's where musician and writers get kind of, you get that jaded musician where you're like, well, I don't really like what he's doing and I don't really like what they're doing. And it's kind of like, well, it doesn't really matter in the long run. What are you doing with your outlets? What are you doing with the people that want to pay attention to you? And I think that's the biggest thing to writers is focus on the out rather than focus on the inside of the industry.
Oh, you rock, man.
Yeah.
Ross and I talk about this a lot. In fact, didn't you wrote a whole blog post about this, didn't you, Ross? About how we should not be in competition with each other, but work with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was about collaboration rather than competition. And one of the things I always say is promote what you love and ignore what you don't. Yeah. Because I find that too many people, especially on social media, they're complaining about what other people are doing. They hate what this artist does. They hate this artist. This isn't fair. This is what they're doing and they're successful and I'm not. It's like, well, you're wasting the energy you could be using writing a good song, complaining about the success that someone else is having.
Yeah.
It kind of just makes you look bad. And it's also taking you away from actually doing something good, something that could benefit someone, because really if you're complaining you're not benefiting anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah And I think what it does is it's putting some negative energy into your process. Everyone's only given so much energy of the day. Well, we use 21 hours of the day, me and him.
Yeah.
It's still not enough though.
Gonna have to up that to 22.
Yeah we'll have to try it.
But that's how I see it. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, we're all hustling for something. Whatever your goals are, each person is hustling. And I can't knock someone for doing their thing, and I may not like it in my taste. I may be like, that's not something I would do.
Yeah, exactly.
But who am I to be like, that shouldn't be doing this and that shouldn't be on the radio or that shouldn't be what people like? Like, I do think there's a responsibility for artists to take responsibility in what they do, say, and project, and because that does have an effect on people. But am I one to say that you can't make a certain sound or make a certain thing? I don't know. It's not really my place.
I hear you.
I actually love working with people. I love taking obscure people that you would not think would work together and see if they'll work together. Because at the end of the day, what I have found is all musicians and artists that are extremely successful, they do all have a similar mental strength and passion, and like they go and then no one's going to tell them that they can't achieve something. It may not come back the way that one would expect, but it doesn't mean that they can not achieve something, what they put their mind to. And I think to anybody, that's, you can take two artists in different genres and actually work together, because that is the common trait.
It's funny you said I've been a singer-songwriter for many, many years, and usually working solo. I've worked with a couple people here and there, but I've had that strong urge I've told Ross about this. I've had this urge to just collaborate with other people. Still do the thing on your own. You know what I mean? I think I need that. And but not just people that you think, people that you wouldn't expect it, because then something's going to come out of that you never would have imagined. Because if someone has a completely different musical background, what I have to bring to the table, what they have to bring to the table, that I actually think that's very exciting, and you don't want to do something that's so predictable. Well, let's put this pop artist with this pop artist. Well, yeah, thanks. So yeah, that's cool. I like that, man.
I think one more thing I think I could add to that, unless your viewers are kind of like, yeah, we're tired of hearing him talk. Oh.
No.
Quote, stay, comment. I think don't be scared to fail, and don't be scared to try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Me and my business partner, we have a saying, he's been with me in music since the beginning. My friend Byron Martinez, he was in one of the A&Rs over Captial. He's done multiple things, but he's a really good friend, and we work every day together. And we have a saying, and as a writer, I think it resonates, it's okay to fail if you learn from it, but fail fast.
Yeah.
Understand when it's not working and be like, cool, it didn't work, let's move on. I think as writers, you're like, no, I'm gonna make this work. And that's actually the failure. You know what I mean? Right. Is that you're like, and you're wasting time. And, I think that's a big part. You're like, it's okay to say it's not working.
I like that. I'm using that. Fail fast.
Yeah.
I'm using that.
And it kind of, you kind of find that thing, because it allows you to keep taking risks. If it doesn't take you a long time to get back up, you could keep taking risks. And that's what I found, at least.
Beautiful. Are you ready for 20 questions?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Coffee or tea? What are you drinking?
Coffee.
There you go.
Lots of coffee.
Meat or veggies?
I used to be big into meat, and now I do veggies. I was having some stomach issues, so I had to redo my entire diet.
Good for you.
And it trips me out, because I never understood how much meat colors food, the taste of food, because of the extra stuff. And so my significant other, she taught me how to make all these vegetarian meals, and I have my palate of food is just really extenuated. I have nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people like, you should not eat meat.
I'm one of them. That's okay.
To each his own, to be honest. But I will tell people that, especially from my family, we came up on meat and potatoes. We're middle America, corn, meat, potatoes, and a lot of breads. And I never knew how much the meat covered all that. And so it's kind of like a new exploration for me. And that's what I found, is so much new foods and ways of preparing it. And so being a vegetarian has kind of like brought that on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So more of like actually I learned to eat more.
I like you even more now.
yeah, exactly.
CD or vinyl?
I love having a material thing, so I'm gonna say vinyl.
Twitter or Facebook?
Ooh, I think my obsession is definitely in Facebook.
Mac or PC?
Definitely Mac. I've tried using, a lot of my friends, my producer friends, are getting into Window on PC.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of this online digital syncing where you can basically do sessions from different parts of the world.
I use Cubase, which is just very similar to Nuendo. So there you go.
Yeah, and I it's beautiful that. But I've gotten so used to the Mac layout of the keys and the quick keys for so long that I hit the keyboard. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, and your workflow is just killed. Yeah, for sure. You got to, yeah.
So, yoga or yogurt?
Oh man, definitely in the PM yogurt, and then I do yoga as much as I can in the morning to fight off the yogurt.
Yeah. Breaking Bad sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you want to hear a funny story about the yoga?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Okay. Do we have time? Or are we running over?
Yeah, sure.
So my best friend growing up, who's been with me forever, ended up being a philosophy major and a yoga major. And so he's a yoga instructor professionally. And so I've done it for a really long time with him. But when we went and did LMFAO, they wanted some physical people. So I hired him to travel with us as our yoga instructor. So all of Party Rock at about 9 a.m. every morning had to get out in the field and do yoga. So imagine people that were still drunk from not sleeping.
I love it.
Having to do Warrior 2 pose and then do it that was when we were on the Kesha tour, so that was great. So I really pushed the yoga stuff. I think it's
good for you.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad or Orange is the New Black?
I can't watch anything to do with jail. It just freaks me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have this weird thing
There's
of
not much jail.
Well,
I don't want to give it away, but Breaking Bad doesn't really have that much jail. It's just a lot of crime.
No, Breaking Bad I can do.
Oh, okay,
but Orange is the New Black, anything to do with that kind of stuff, gives me extreme anxiety. I'm like, I don't know why.
Watch it then.
Yeah. But I like Walking Dead, I think. Or do you say Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad or Orange is the New Black, but Walking Dead's good too.
Yeah, I like Breaking Bad. I watched all of that.
So we're going to shake things up now with Celine Dion or Marilyn Manson.
Ooh. I was never a Marilyn Manson fan, to be honest. I appreciated him during that era. I just never resonated with what music they produced. So I guess Celine Dion, because I went and saw Titanic, and everybody sings that song at the end. So
indie or major?
Label, artist, or
anything, just in general, for the music industry.
I would say, this is going to sound really cliche, but both, because they both, cultivate a sense that needs to happen. Indie is definitely people that are just out there going to do their thing no matter what. Majors will teach you how to be very poignant and very precise on what you're trying to achieve, and then go out to the public in the masses and do it. So each has their benefit. I'm a big fan when a band can do an indie project and then cross over into a major without having to change too much of what they are and what they're doing.
Right.
Because they have that leverage to basically say, I don't need to change. This is a successful project. Just distribute us. Yeah. And then they become a major.
Kind of the dream.
It is the dream, and it's rare. But I don't know. I mean, do majors really exist anymore? I have a lot of meetings with majors all the time, and I'll tell you, you would be surprised that they're looking at the indies like, hey, do they have the next big thing?
Yeah.
The music industry is in a weird place. It doesn't have that massive cash flow like it used to have.
Yeah.
And but in that comes creativity and innovation. Somebody's going to come up with an idea, and somebody's going to come up with a way of doing music that's going to flood the market again and make all the money come back. And so in desperation comes greatness, in my opinion. So I think we're in for change.
That's actually very true on a personal level.
Yeah.
And speaking of greatness, Canada or Scotland?
Ooh, I think I loved Scotland when we were there. I was there a little bit. But we spent so much time in Canada, I know it fairly well. I took a tour bus constantly through Canada. And I think they're both great. I don't. I have to admit, I don't know much about each's history, which I should probably know more.
We probably don't know. We probably don't know that much. I'm pretty sure in Canada we learn more about American history than our own history, unfortunately. So.
Oh, so you know about more of our history than we know about our.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, so
Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Oh, Nirvana for sure. Although I did like a few of the Pearl Jam records, I think Nirvana was. I didn't like Nirvana as much as a kid, but I love it as an adult.
Yeah,
it resonates with me now. Yeah, definitely.
The Voice or American Idol, or neither.
Hulu.
Neither.
Reruns of of something else. No,
yeah. Seinfeld.
You know what I mean? No, I think it's great. I think both those dudes really encompass taking risks. And that's what keeps you great, in my opinion.
Definitely.
The Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
I'm a huge Beatles fan. So much I got tattooed on my arm.
There you go.
That's why I did this question.
Yes.
I think it was in one of the recent interviews you did. You mentioned that you had Let It Be.
Yeah. It was really weird when I got it because, when you get tattoos, you're supposed to face it the other way so that the person you would show it, so you kind of go like this.
Yeah, right.
And you're supposed to be down. And when I got it, it flipped over, and he was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I was like, "Well, I'm getting a tattoo for me. I'm not getting it for somebody else." Mm. And so it's really just a mantra for me navigating this career is, hey, there's things out of your control. Like there's things you're not going to be able to do. So you just gotta let it be. Take a breath. And I think the Beatles were just like so instrumental in so many musical aspects and how they had so little technology in comparison today to make what they made. And I think once again, they just did things with a purpose and just said, hey, this is a good song. Let's put it out.
Michael Jackson or Michael Bolton with the Power Grab?
Oh, wow. Actually, when I was 5, I went to my first Michael Jackson concert.
Oh, really?
My mom was friends with one of his bodyguards and security guards.
Oh my gosh.
So for my 5th birthday, she got me like front row tickets and like backstage passes to go. I didn't get to meet him, but to go see the show. So I've always been a Jackson fan. I'm a kid of the 80s, so you have to say Michael Jackson.
Right.
But Michael Bolton, come on, the hair. You can't.
Exactly, the hair. He's a legend. Twerk or work?
Oh, work. I don't understand the work thing. It's all good. So somebody put a dance and made money, so it's cool, but I don't quite understand it.
Ricky Gervais or Ricky Martin?
Oh, Ricky Gervais, for sure.
Whale or Kale?
You got to say Kale.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bette Midler or the Riddler?
Probably the Riddler. Yeah.
And the final question, keeping in mind I am a singer-songwriter as well.
Ross or Marcio?
Bridge the Atlantic, both. Come on, guys.
That's the correct answer. You can
That
come
is
back.
the correct answer. You are welcome back on the show. I love it.
Now get you $200. No, just kidding.
Oh, man. So where can people find you online?
They can go to the usual places: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all under I am Josh Stevens. If people hit me up, I usually try and hit them back. I like to conversate with people as much as possible.
That's what it's all about.
And I like hearing new stuff. So if anyone is like, "Oh, this band's dope," I like to check out. I'm a fan as well, of music. So those are all the outlets. That's the website. Hilltop's on iTunes. You can go check that, and Spotify. And yeah, just keep supporting. We appreciate every bit of love we can get, and that's it. And I appreciate it.
That's right, and we appreciate you coming on the show, man. If you want to check out what I'm doing, go to marcionovelli.com. I'm writing for my second full-length solo album.
If you want to see what I'm up to, I'm at electrickiwi.co.uk, and that's co.uk. I'm working on tons of stuff, blog posts, new websites, lots of things. So come and find me.
All right,
cool, man. Yeah, this has been great. Seriously, come back, and I mean that.
Yeah, anytime you guys want me, let me know.
I really love your energy, man. I like what you stand for, and You know, sometimes you feel like, obviously there's a lot of successful people out there. Or, sorry, there's a lot of very creative and talented people out there that don't see the light of day. But when you get to meet people like yourself who are successful, but you're so down to earth, and you know, it makes you happy that you've seen success. You know, it makes you happy.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I try, you know, to be honest, I try and reach back as much as I can to writers and give what it is, because you know, coming from behind the scenes, there's a different aspect. You know, there's a difference if you came up and you're the star constantly.
Yeah.
You know, like the people behind the scenes they work so hard and they have to put in so much work and so much talent, and a lot of times they get stepped over and they get kind of like forgotten, you know, once the stage and everything is gone, or the record is out there. You know, who wrote that again? I don't know. Well, you know what I mean? They don't really know. And for me, that's a big part of my stance, is show people respect where respect is due. That's it.
That's right. Awesome, brother.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Anytime, let me know.
Thanks for watching Bridge the Atlantic. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe so that you don't miss each week's episode.
Click on the videos above us if you'd like to see more, and please feel free to leave us a comment letting us know what you think of the show.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to us on iTunes so that you can listen to us on the go. Thanks again for being awesome, and we'll see you on next week's episode.